All right. Hello there, and welcome back to the SWTV show right here on YouTube, the video home of the SWTVC crew and the ongoing push for the continued existence, expansion, and success of the heritage scale of Star Wars collecting. I'm Evan, or as you may know me on Instagram, at Mile High Ground, and I am joined today by my teammate Lewis, aka the Space Hut.
Hello.
And John, tearing himself away from the mountains of March Madness data, the vintage concepts himself. Here he is. How are we doing, everybody?
Hello, hello. Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing all right. So, yeah, before we get into some of the big topics of the show, I want to go ahead and say hello to everybody in the chat. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today on another Saturday. So it looks like we've got some familiar names. Toys Are the Way. Jay guys, hello there.
Yeah, hit that like button. Evan and I both have access to the comments, so we'll see what happens if we're both highlighting different ones.
Yep, we got Riley Bob. Hey, how's it going, man? We got Ben Swallow Collector, TVC Dadalorian, lots of familiar names. Yeah, all right. Well, looks like we got a few people joining us today. That's awesome. Thanks for making the time to do so. Let's go ahead and jump into the topics of it all. So, yes, we know that this weekend sees the biggest sporting event of the year in the US, at least. Well, second biggest after TVC March Madness, which, of course, you're all likely aware that the top 25 list submissions for this year's tournament concluded just over a week ago on January 31st. First off, huge thank you to everybody in this community for showing up big time, and to all the awesome support we received from our friends and allies, including the Facebook groups, the SW, the Vintage Collection Facebook group, the Vintage Collection Modern 3 3/4 inch Facebook group, Vidark's French, Vidark side, is that?
Yeah.
The French Facebook group, yes. Bosk's Bounty, Bantha Skull. There were videos from folks like Victoria's Cantina, Toys Are the Way, who's with us today in the comments, Middle-Aged Kiwi Man, Bread on Fett, so many more than I could possibly name right now. We had Yak Face helping out with reposts and whatever. I know we're forgetting people, but we saw all of you guys out there getting nuts with it, and it was tons of fun. So we saw a ton of awesome lists, and it was such a joy seeing everyone out there share their custom grids and talk about the reasoning behind their choices. So it goes without saying that I personally want and would buy them all, even the gluppest of shittos, and I'll continue to champion for a line based on including all of it. So yes, speaking of tons of lists, yes. Hey, John.
Yes.
Can you hit us with some numbers?
Yes. So we got over 1,300 submissions, which shakes out to about, currently, I'm still going through them all. I'm about 2/3 of the way done. We got about 1,270, I'll say, useful lists. They're all lovely. I love all your lists. Some of them are all vehicles. Some of them are 25 different Darth Vaders. Maybe not super helpful to what we're trying to do here, but I appreciate your time and effort, Kurt. So it's a little bit more than last year, but I guess, have we never really clarified that it's one submission per person, folks? So when you're submitting the same list across 5 different email addresses, I'm going to catch that. I'm going to notice that kind of stuff. So just save yourself some time next year. Do one list. It's one list per person. Maybe we weren't clear on that, but thank you, and I love you all. So yeah, it's a little bit more than last year, not a ton more than last year. So it's pretty similar turnout so far, a little bit more, which is always nice to see at least some increase. Just a couple numbers. I'm still going through the numbers. I do have the tab open in another window, so in case I really get bored today, when we get into some of the deeper topics that I will be boring you all with later, I might have to tune out and turn into the spreadsheet for a minute. But so there are over 31,000 entries to go through. Like I said, I've gone to about 2/3, or like over 20,000 already. And like 3 lists only had 1 entry, which is allowed. So if anybody ever says, I can't think of 25, you're allowed to submit as few as one or as many as 25.
But only one
yes.
once, not one
Yeah.
25 times.
Yes, yes.
Which I think a few people tried, didn't they? I think someone tried it.
A couple of people tried, or like 13 of the same figure, or like I said, somebody did 25 different Darth Vaders, which
that was impressive. Honestly.
The fact that you could even think of that many. Does he even interact with 25 different accessories over the course of the movies? I'm not sure, but so still going through a lot. Don't really have any hints to tease you with today, but I did learn that Frog Lady, she still doesn't have a name, but she does have a species given to her, at least publicized in the recent Star Wars Encyclopedia, whose name is Qermrybet.
Don't try to pronounce it.
Try to pronounce that.
Let's save that for later. We'll circle back to that.
Rabbit's got to be a play on the fact that she's a frog.
Ribbit.
Rabbit.
Yeah, it's got to be Ribbit.
Rabbit. I don't know how you pronounce it, but yeah.
That's going to be a fun one. Love it.
Yes.
But goes without saying, man, that boiling down all this data into the bracket is a major task that we, mostly John actually, shoulder each year. And for those of you keeping track, this year's TVC March Madness bracket should be dropping around the very end of the month or the very beginning of next month. So I can't wait to see how it all shapes up. And I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for Ben Solo making the cut for the 5th year in the row. So
yes, he probably will. That's a little spoiler for you there.
Ooh. I like that.
It's interesting because John's obviously got the figures, hasn't he? But a lot of us were kind of looking at these charts as we were going, and you kind of get a feel, you sort of type in a name and see how many it's getting, and you can kind of hope that, that might be enough. And then you put in something like, I don't know, one of the popular kind of characters, I don't know, the Stranger or something like that, and then you compare it to this other figure and you think, okay, perhaps it's not going to make the bracket now because that figure's just got way more votes. But I mean, it's it'd be interesting to see what shakes up. I've got no idea what's going to be in the top 20 even, let alone 64, so it's going to be interesting.
I saw a bunch of submissions with Balon and Shin still, so good news to those people.
Perhaps they're living in the UK and they're still hopeful that we're going to get them at some point.
Yes.
You still haven't been able to pre-order those, right?
No. And I mean, I know we're going to touch on this again, but they revealed them today at the In Demand toys event, and you kind of think, wouldn't that have been a good idea to let people know when they can order them?
Since we're talking about it, I think I'm actually just going to pull that up right now. Let's see, Chrome tab. Who is it? Who do I have here? Let's see.
Let's see those tabs.
Too many, man. Too many.
Throwing you out of order. Sorry, it's my fault.
No. It's good. It's good. What event is this at?
It was In Demand Toys had their own event. They do it generally once a year. They might do it more than once. I didn't get a chance to go. I had far too much going on at the moment. But a good friend, Phil DeForce, obviously was there. In force.
Yes. And he's here in the chat. So thank you, Phil, for this great coverage, and thanks for being here.
Yeah, everybody go follow him and check this out, because he got some in-hand shots of Balon and Shin, got to open those up and gave us little reviews. It's pretty awesome seeing them already. They look great.
I like that shot of them out of the package standing near each other. There was that image that we highlighted last stream with Tyler and Miko and Tim and Chris, where it was, we talked about these reveals where it was the in studio shots, and it sort of looked like they were photoshopped together almost. I wondered to show the height difference, but you can see it here. And I'm glad that Balon is appropriately taller than Shin.
Love it.
Yeah, and they just look incredible from the images we're seeing and the videos we're seeing.
Yeah, just want to be able to order them.
Great. Yeah.
I don't think it's just us either. I think the guys over in Europe, I don't think they've been able to pre-order them either. So it's a Hasbro Europe thing and a Hasbro UK thing. Something about they didn't know what sort of levels of stock that they're going to be getting, so they can't put it up for pre-order yet.
Wow. It
seems a strange one because, the whole point of a pre-order is that they can then get an idea of the level of stock they need. It seems an odd way of doing it. So, we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Sweet. Well, that's awesome. yeah, be sure that you're following Feel the Force for those. And speaking of Instagram, follow us over there at SWTVC for all of our latest news, developments, schedule, and all that stuff as March Madness draws near. We're also planning more regular live streams and whatnot. So be sure you hit that subscribe button down below on this channel to not miss any of our shenanigans. Speaking of housekeeping stuff here, yeah, more social media. That's what we all need. We're also on Blue Sky now, as you guessed it, at SWTVC. Not sure how many of you are over there. I know we're all super fatigued on so many social media apps, platforms, like who cares? But hey, we try to be thorough. So I'll try to keep up with it as best as I can here and there. But Instagram is still our main home. But feel free to follow us over there if you're using it too.
You said who cares? And that would be a great name for a social media app. You got Facebook, Blue Sky, and who cares?
Yeah. Just blot me. Who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, so yes, as I mentioned, more live streams. I want to pick your guys' brains just a little bit about this, John Lewis and everyone in the chat. I actually saw a comment the other night while I was writing this outline that was pretty similar to this. As you probably surmised, SWTVC, the SWTVC podcast is a huge labor of love, but it's also a ton of work and quite time intensive. And time is a currency that is in short supply these days. Also, regular currency is in short supply these days, but I digress. Fear not. I am not pitching the end of the podcast whatsoever, but I do have a question. We do upload new episodes of the podcast as they debut over here on the YouTube channel as well. But is there any interest in a lightly edited version of these live streams to go out as audio only podcasts for those folks who listen to podcasts? I know some of you have requested that. I don't know. So we're planning on utilizing the live streams to be more involved in the news and developments, be able to react to things more timely in the events of it all, while shifting focus of the podcast maybe more onto the specific topics and the deep dives and oddities, kind of like the recent Ewok Adventures episode that John and I did with our partners. Anyway, yeah, sorry, that's a lot of straight thoughts. What do you guys think?
I think so. If we did the Ewok show live, we could see the chat going, not interested, keep going.
Yeah.
So it's fun to not have that sometimes. It is very fun to be in the chat and have the live feedback, and they can correct us if we're off base or have a question or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the current stuff is good to get the live streams out. We, like you say, Evan, sometimes it takes time to edit these things, and it's not always then current news by the time it comes through. So I think it's good to do the current stuff, and like you say, the deep dives and the other things that rank badges, stuff like that. I think that can all stick to the podcast.
Yeah, talking about Jedi tooling, and it's like, now use your mind's eye to picture some extra stitching. Yeah, no.
You guys say that now. We're going to have a deep dive in a little bit with great visual enhancements. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
We'll be getting that who cares question here very soon.
Yeah.
But sometimes it is easier to show when we have photographs alongside it, when we're talking about in the podcast things like Jedi robes or rank badges or whatever, where we do want to show some of these things, and it's hard to do a little post on Instagram with a very long explanation that maybe not everybody will read. So I don't know.
Okay.
But
yeah, I just was thinking about that, in the spirit of staying relevant and, keeping content going out there, because obviously the podcast has been hit and miss, just as we were doing top 25 stuff, bunch of live streams. If we did a lot of the reveals lately, we'd still be talking about, oh, hey, did you hear that they revealed Balon and Shin finally? I'd still be editing that. That's already been talked about. And now we've seen the figures in hand. So yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that's good to know. I'm glad that oh, sorry. John and I saw the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay,
all
good to know.
all the time. Why not?
Cool. That's helpful. Maybe I'll start with this live stream. I'll get this out hopefully soon. So those of you who listen to the podcast and don't tune into the whole live stream are able to kind of throw it on while you're driving, and you don't have to watch a YouTube video instead of traffic. So yeah.
Yes, eyes on the road, everybody. Eyes on the road.
Yeah. All right. So thank you for that. Thanks for letting me think out loud. And thanks for chiming in, folks. On with the show. So let's go to a regular section of the show now. Mail call. Have you guys gotten anything in recently?
Well, I got the Luke Wave a couple weeks ago, but I only opened some of them today. I got the case from Entertainment Earth, so that means I have doubles of Luke, Indara, and Anakin. One to keep carded, one to open. Still waiting for Dedra and the Clone Trooper to ship from Pulse and Entertainment Earth. And Entertainment Earth maybe has leapfrogged a little bit, back to the Frog Lady sort of situation. But anyway, I finally opened Luke, Indara, and Anakin today. My God, they're all incredible. I know everyone's been singing the praises, but sometimes the photos maybe don't do it justice. But Luke is just, I opened this guy today and I said, oh my God, I always talk about maybe I don't, the updates aren't as exciting to me personally as never before made characters from every corner of the Star Wars galaxy, but seeing Luke just in the perfect modern style, it's just a wow. Just wow is all I can say. I'm turning into full Owen Wilson because wow.
That's kind of how I felt about Vader, to be honest, because over the years we've had so many Vaders, and when that Dark Times one was coming out, I was kind of like, yeah, it's kind of cool, it's all good. But I mean, when it turned up, I sort of thought, yeah, this is exactly why you need definitive figures, because that Vader is just incredible. And I don't have that Luke yet, but I am looking forward to getting that for the same reason.
Yeah. Do you know when you're gonna get those in hand?
So Pulse sent out a notification that they are shipping, but they haven't shipped yet. I believe the whole shebang have actually shipped theirs already. There's a few people have got theirs, so it probably means they are coming through. I would have thought most of the other fan channels will start getting them perhaps this week. So yeah, they're imminent. They're incoming.
Okay, hopefully soon. Yeah, and then you can start stressing about. Oh yes.
Oh no, I just saw when you posted your story about opening Luke finally. I know I was singing the praises of it when I got it, and you were kind of like, I don't know if the likeness is there. And then I saw your story, and you're just like, wow, it's so good. It's like,
yeah, seriously, because especially the likeness, because that's the one where I've kind of been like, I'm not 100% sure, and I know Mark Hamill's likeness is always hard to nail down, and it changes between movies and it changes between scenes even. But I think in hand, especially from various angles, it does the job for me. And we've had a few, and New Hope Lukes. I've seen some in the chat. You can put the Yavin head or the Stormtrooper head on there if you prefer. But I think it looks awesome. I think it just looks amazing.
I mean, although I don't have it, I was obviously fortunate enough to go to the UK Hasbro event back when they originally dropped revealed the figures, and did see them in hand there, much like the In Demand event today. And I have to say, although they were early shots of those figures, I was impressed. Having them in hand, I was impressed with. I mean, they were still on cards. We couldn't physically get them off the cards, but it was still nice to see those. So yeah, I am very excited for both of those figures.
And that was where you got to see Anakin as well, right? Which I got right here, which is another one with the reused arms from the 2012 figure. But overall, I mean, the new legs and the new portrait and everything else is just stunning in hand. Yeah, look at that guy.
So jealous.
Yeah, sorry, Lewis. We're just rubbing it in your face. Yeah.
She's on the other foot now with us finally getting figures before you, but he'll be even better with the scar. I forgot about the scar, but the scar is coming in the next release, so it was like it didn't bother me at all having this guy in hand. It's just like just the sculpting and the engineering, and then going in Dara as well. Just say both her and Luke, it almost feels like a dare. They have the world's tiniest accessories. She has a little comlink. He has a little droid collar, and I'm just like, oh boy, I'm gonna lose these guys immediately.
Dude, I think Indara is my favorite figure of the wave. So blown away. I had to take a photo of that we even featured on SWTVC. Oh my God, I made the cut, guys.
we all have access to post whatever we want,
and we just don't sometimes. So it's great. It's great. Speaking of the likeness though, in the photos, before we get them in hand, yes, I agree with this. Those promo photos can be pretty rough. But with the in-hand thing, we just saw, the Phil the Force review and his look at Balon and Shin, and some folks kind of looking at Shin just being like, I don't know if it's there, blah, blah, blah. And it's one of those, I'm going to hold out judgment until I have it in hand, because with a lot of these figures too, where it was like, I think they look great. I don't know if the likeness is totally there or if like the eyes look right, but then I get them in hand and they look awesome in person, and the photos don't really do them justice. So we'll see. Yeah.
No, indeed.
I'm gonna highlight a couple more here. So I'm not highlighting at the same time, but I I know not Acolyte wasn't everybody's cup of tea, putting it mildly, but the
But
figures are all. I like
Well,
them. So
that rolls
the figures
in.
have all been amazing.
That rolls in nicely to my my mail call this week, because the only figures I've had this year, which came yesterday, were the retro Acolyte figures.
Oh God! Well, you have a Jackie now, so
I know we're not here to talk about retro, but yeah, that's literally all I've had this year. So it would be nice to get some TVC.
Wow. When was the last TVC wave you got? Was it
I got them
Jog?
the week building up to Christmas, which was obviously the oh, can't even think what's in it now. The Jet Trooper wave. What's in the Jetpack Trooper? What's in that wave? I can't even think off the top of my head. Yeah, Jod.
Mando and
Yes,
Bo-Katan, and yeah.
But yeah, so that seems like a long while ago now.
Yeah. Well, I also got some old new stuff. Tyler, you know, our guy who ordered a truckload of the Night Trooper pack, ended up with many extra Captain Enochs, and I still needed one because of the 4 that I got. All of them had horrible paint. So Tyler finally hooked me up with some that look like they actually could lead something. So yeah, pretty happy about that. Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate you.
Yes.
He's still got about another 100 to get rid of. So
yeah, that's true. I feel like we should just start like a hotline where it's, you need an Enoch, Tyler's got you. So, but yeah, also, I realized I saw Steve posting about because it's the 10th anniversary of The Force Awakens, and this will lead into our next point. But you know, some of the stuff that came out then, Steve was posting about some of the product from that, and reminded me that I somehow never got an opener of Constable Zuvio. So it wasn't hard to find, but yeah, it took me 10 years to finally to get them. So I'll be opening that one up soon.
So have you got that entire line like carded as well then? All the 5 POA stuff? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize. I assumed you just kept TVC on cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude. I've got plenty of things that I don't want to mention on this stream on cards still. So like, can you imagine a moron that would have an entire set of Epic Hero series on card? Anyway, on to the news. Some folks are starting to get the Dr. Vazin actually from the upcoming fan channel wave. I think it's from Entertainment Earth, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I know we're talking about pronunciation later. I always call him Evazon. We've discussed this before, but I don't know. I have no idea.
We're going to talk about pronunciation later because I can't do this.
We'll talk about it as it comes up. We don't need to have a whole thing about it.
So can I, obviously a few people have posted this now where it's been in hand. I haven't seen anyone actually do a close-up shot of the face. I don't know, there must be some out there, but I just haven't seen any. Has he got the pink scar or not?
I think he does, yeah.
He does.
And some people in the chat, I see Chaz the Guru got his yesterday, but I know that Lando Griffin posted a comparison of at least the 2 carded figures. So I haven't seen any close-ups like comparing the loose ones, but I do believe the new one has the pink scar. The photo reel doesn't really look all that different to me on the eyes and stuff, but again, I haven't really seen any close-up shots loose.
Yeah, I mean,
yet,
I pulled these off the shelf. I pulled them off the shelf again just because I knew we were going to talk about them. And I've got both scar and non-scar version, and you know, they were great in their day. They were good. They're great for the Cantina setup. I don't necessarily need another one. Two's more than enough, but I'll probably pick one up anyway.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know, yes, we talk about not wanting swivel hips in TVC these days. I don't have that figure from TVC 1. I only have a carded version. I don't have a loose version. So it will be nice for me to be able to get one to throw in my cantina. And that's why they do it without having to spend $50 on eBay. So not ideal, but
it makes sense. It makes sense. But
there's worse decisions.
Like Aura Singh. Why?
Coming in the same way. And I see Riley Bob posted that Big Bad Toy Store is only just shipping Ahsoka-thron, Ahsoka the White and Jet Trooper.
Wow.
So yeah, things are kind of going back and forth. I'm not really sure what's going on. Like I said, Pulse still shows, I think, March for a lot of this, the Luke wave. I think they shipped out Anakin, or they were going to ship out Anakin, because I had ordered him because he was supposed to do 1 per case. It's a whole thing. But
weirdly, Walmart has been pretty consistent in keeping TVC recent waves moving. I've noticed that. I've seen all of the past several waves I can remember at Walmart, relatively within the window of them shipping out from like EE or Amazon or GameStop. So I know there was people talking about the sky is falling with retail's dead for TVC. Anecdotally, for myself, I've actually seen it stronger than it has been in the past. There's still some Landos clogging the pipes, but I don't know.
Real quick, Chaz said he sent the photo to you. Sorry, I got to stop
on
touching
Instagram.
the chat.
No, that's good.
But
no, that's good to know. I mean, I was curious if they'd gone for the pink sky or gone backwards with it, but because we're seeing less paint on a lot of things these days. So,
in terms of Walmart, also, I only have really one near me. I live in LA, so there's only one kind of in the immediate area. But if you go a little bit farther out, you can see more. And when I go on toy runs out there, I did a couple months ago, and I saw a lot of like the Jod wave when it was new, even before I had gotten some of them in from online retailers. And I've seen, I know, like again, Lando posted several cases of the Luke wave at his Walmart, which was nice to see. So I don't know. I haven't seen it at Target for a minute, but I'll say first. And thank you, real quick, to everyone watching. I know we got 100 watch or 99. I just had to say it and curse it, but So thank you everybody for watching. Smash that like button. Got to say it, but do what you got to do.
Sorry, I'm pulling up.
Getting up the thing. Yeah,
I am. Sorry, it's taking me a moment. I didn't want to
do it.
Blast my inbox on a live stream. Let's see.
You can go ahead and open your banking app real quick.
Yeah. You guys are gonna love it. I hope you like $10. Okay. Thank you, Chaz.
Yeah, thank you.
Got the screen really small on my thing.
Enhance. Oh, nope, you're not. Enhance. No, it's not working. Here
we go. Okay, so the eye does look kind of photorealish. She's got like some eyeshadow going on, and got the scar though.
Okay. Oh, but the chest hair.
The sweet photoreal chest hair. Yeah. Face might not be photoreal, but the chest hair is, thank God.
His hair is a little different as well, I guess, but it might just be the paint. But yeah, no, I'm always curious. I'm as a loose collector, for me, one of the interesting things I find is always those little variances. So yes, I don't want the Hasbro to keep churning out the same thing and putting slight tweaks on them, but it's one of them things that I can't resist.
Yeah. Seeing as how, as I said, we're sending each other Jabba across the pond to because I got 2 of the spaghetti version, you got 2 of the clean version, and you already sent mine, and I'm still procrastinating on yours. But I couldn't possibly just take mine and wipe off the paint. I gotta go through.
No, you gotta have the proper release. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I probably won't display that version as such, but it's just knowing that I've got that copy of him that it looks bad, but I can't help myself.
It's part of the story of the line.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
We all have a horrible problem, guys. This is really just the reason I want to do more live streams is that it's a really good support session and it's cheaper than therapy. So I'm glad we can all be here for each other. All right. Well, shall we move on to the
from problems to power? How about that for a segue right there?
Let's do it. All right, so the official Star Wars website recently unveiled the Power the Force initiative, which is a, quote, year-long campaign showcasing some of the saga's iconic ships, favorite characters, memorable droids, and, of course, lightsabers. First reveal was a Lego AT-AT driver helmet. The Power the Force logo can also be spotted on the latest wave of the Epic World of Action 4-inch figures, so it's likely those will probably be officially revealed during this campaign, even though you can already order them from EE. I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of a neat callback to Power the Force, I guess.
I still read that and want to put the of in there. My brain can't take it out.
Yeah.
Conditions.
There's space up there to the right of power. We can definitely put an of in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say hello, Dean. Hi, thanks for joining.
Oh, hey, Dean.
I thought I also saw it at a Micro Galaxy Squadron, some sort of event. I follow the fan page about that. I think it's like kind of in the background of an event. So yeah, all the brands will be joining in on this year. I don't know if it's like a longer version of Gift the Galaxy or.
That's what I was just going to say. It seems like that sort of initiative, but to go for a whole year seems very. It's almost like, how do you have a campaign run for that long and actually drive it? Is there any specifics about it, or is it just general Star Wars stuff? It seems strange to slap this brand on something that's going to just run for a year. I don't know. Yeah, we may see some interesting marketing come out of it. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Well, John, you have the first half of the press release that I failed to read. So,
well, yeah. So the first half of what you said was, it's a big year for Star Wars, with highlights including Star Wars Celebration Japan, the release of Andor: A Star Wars Story Season 2, the 20th anniversary of Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith, and the 10th anniversary of Star Wars: The Force Awakens. And then what you said, to celebrate Power of the Force is a year-long campaign showcases some of the saga's iconic ships, favorite characters, memorable droids, and of course lightsabers. So in short, editorializing here, there's a lot of new stuff, plus 2 big movie anniversaries. So here's a bunch of old stuff you already have. But so I don't know. It feels like the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm a couple years ago, or like last year they had the Imperial March thing at the Empire State Building. Just one of those initiatives to keep it fresh, I guess, almost like a packaging refresh when we used to get those on the figure lines. But I don't know. Yeah, but it is, yes, it's the 40th anniversary of the original Power of the Force line from Kenner, and the 30th anniversary of Power of the Force 2 from Hasbro. But does that have any correlation? Just a coincidence? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just am curious, as TVC collectors, what can we expect? And I'm gonna hazard a guess, and say, oh, can we expect some Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary things? And then Hasbro will look at us and be like, no. You got those 20 years ago. Duh. So, oh, can we get some Force Awakens stuff? What are you talking about? So
you just bought Constable Zuvia. You're up to date. You're fine.
Yep.
Yeah, the real thing we get out of these is more socks.
More socks.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, celebrating Part of the First 2 buff variants of all the mains. Why not?
To be fair, John, we're the guys that just celebrated the 40th anniversary of the Ewok movies?
Yeah.
Oh,
which no one else knew happened.
Yeah.
Maybe we put a little too much emphasis on anniversary sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But yes, of course, goes without saying, some Revenge of the Sith stuff would be wonderful. Would love that. So
just seeing Phil's comment there as well in terms of having the mains on the Power Force 2 red cards. I mean, I think that would be interesting. I say I'm not a carded collector as such, but even as someone who grew up with the Kenner figures, for me, those Power of the Force cards still have quite a lot of nostalgia, because that's when I started collecting. I started, I actually became a collector through that line. And I think it would be interesting to have a short run of, a short wave of figures, whether they had different accessories packed with them, or just something to make them a little bit different, but just to get them out, a coin, just something to put them alongside the TVC stuff. So just a little bit of freshness, a little bit of excitement. Not for everyone, but I'm up for that sort of thing.
Do you remember? I don't remember when it was because I got it later, but was it SDCC one year, the Lost Line box that had the Jar Jar and Carbonite in the middle on a normal TVC card, but it had the Lost Line look with 6 figures, one from each movie. What if they did something similar as a con exclusive of like 6 characters on Power of the Force card backs to celebrate for that? Anyway, Hasbro, if you're listening, money please. You're welcome.
And even in that, I can't remember, but I think the case was split, half Lost Line look, half regular vintage collection look. I'm not even 100% sure, but
they actually came in the same wave boxes, didn't they? They just
I saw them in stores. I'll never forget randomly just texting you, John, when I'm in a Toys R Us in Michigan, looking at a Jar Jar on a weird card I'd never seen before. And you're like, duh. Crack an egg of knowledge.
Clearly,
I
mean, they did
obviously.
Clearly, they did. Don't you remember the book that talked about this? I mean, they did the droids and the Ewoks cards a couple years ago, so that's as close as they've come recently, I think.
Yeah.
They did the Revenge of the Sith variants as well back then with the Death Star the year prior to the Lost Line look SDCC set, and so there's fun things they could do. I feel like. They probably won't touch Power of the Force 2 cards in the modern style. They did that for blowing it up for Black Series, of course. but they haven't touched redoing modern cards in 3.75 style yet.
To be fair,
Yet
if they put this Luke on an orange Power of the Force card, like Power of the Force 2 card, yeah, I'd buy it again because this figure's that good.
Long lightsaber as well.
Oh yeah, long lightsaber. Come on, man.
That big gun.
I would love that.
And Evan, you know more about this, obviously. The Batman Returns figures that just came out. Are those McFarlane?
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever, but what are they?
Spin Master.
Spin Master. Okay, but they're based on the original Kenner Hasbro ones from the 90s.
Yeah, they're based on the original Kenner sculpts from '95 because it's the 30th anniversary of Batman Forever. We're all kissing Rose today, so yeah.
But that had a very similar line look with like the green line shooting across. We all thought it was a lightsaber. Maybe it was just the the house style of Kenner at the time. But they could do all the iconic variants, the short saber, long tray. I still have a Dagobah Luke carded because we all thought that was going to be the ticket to financial stability forever. But so we are bringing that 90s nostalgia back to the shelves with some of this stuff. So
yeah,
could be fun. I don't know.
Well, speaking of nostalgia, so while there were no official TVC reveals in the past couple weeks, a new merch banner was spotted at the it's not just Star Wars names. Other languages that I can't pronounce.
Let's try it though. Let's all take a whack at this.
I'm not going to disrespect the good people of Germany.
I never did German at school, so I cannot pronounce it at all.
Nope, can't even say it. It's the Toy Fair Germany, and it contained some interesting things in that banner. So you look closely.
This is posted by Fantatrax, who attended. Yeah. This is the only shot of it, but it was a public event, so not really a leak. So I think it's fair game to talk about it.
Yeah.
So we see some other things like the Armorer's helmet in there, and Sabine and the Howler and stuff, and Black Series figures that people got excited about before they realized they'd already been revealed. Lightsabers, all these things. You zoom up to the top left, of course, which you already did, but we're returning to Tatooine, of course.
Yeah.
So unclear what's new, what's old exactly, but let's run down what we see in this image here, if that's all right. Why not? We'll do it all again when it actually gets revealed.
Take us away, John.
All right, so that of course is the land speeder. Luke's the X-34, yes. Is there a P in there? XP-34, something like that.
You're asking?
I was supposed to look up the Sand Trooper weapons for later, so I did not do that. So I apologize to everybody. This appears to be new. If it's new, and it looks like it is, this would be the 5th 3.75-inch land speeder over the years, because Kenner released one. Hasbro tweaked it and re-released it in 1995 for Power of the Force 2. Got a brand new sculpt in 2002 as a Toys R Us exclusive, which was repainted for the Vintage Collection in 2011, which was much more vibrant, kind of orangey red, maybe less realistic, less accurate colors than 2002. Kind of matches the more saturated 2004 DVD a little bit more. Maybe I'm not really sure what they were going for there. And I forgot to check the Blue Milk book to find out. And it's all the way in the other room. Who could possibly go over there? And then, of course, Black Series got two releases in 2017. Same overall sculpt with. One was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive or convention exclusive with a little more deco and a couple more features. Both included Luke with a floppy hat, poncho, and rifle. We see the rifle here in this image. And overall, it kind of looks like a scaled down image of the Black Series one in terms of detailing and sizing and everything. Yes, we could very well get another Luke, because this Luke is the new Luke we just got. Of course, we were just singing the praises of a minute ago. So could get another pack in with some more Tatooine exclusive, Tatooine specific accessories like the floppy hat and the poncho. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, we've had land speeders before. This one looks awesome though. So what do you guys think? Are you excited for another land speeder?
Excited, perhaps not the right word. I mean, I'm happy to get one that's more accurate, I guess. I'd be interested to see if it comes with like a stand, perhaps like the speeder bikes, where you've got a clear stand so it can actually have that hover effect rather than the little pop-out wheels that we've kind of had in the past. And So I think there could be some interesting upgrades certainly to be made. But yeah, it wasn't something that I was crying out for to be done again. But yeah.
Evan, do you have the last? Do you guys have the last few releases?
I do. I think I actually have every version. I even have the original Kenner one. It was one of my favorites as a kid playing with. I think I got it at an antique store at some point, and so it got a lot of mileage. I really liked it. I didn't like I think it was what you were saying, the 2002 2004 one that had the kind of gray.
Well, there was it was kind of lighter colors. It was like in the blue Saga episode 2.
Yeah, and it was longer.
Yeah, it was larger than the original Kenner one.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's been there, done that many times. And like Lewis said, I'm not excited for it, but I guess I'm open to this. I mean, it's a cool vehicle. It's iconic.
It makes sense to release it with this whole Return to Tatooine kind of thing, really. But yeah,
it feels a little like the speeder bike from a couple years ago. Where it's like we already had it, a pretty good one from 10, 12 years ago. And we always hear about how the budget's so small. They got to bend and scrape and claw and scratch to get a dime for tooling, and then we just get a version of an A+ version of a vehicle that was already B+ maybe.
Out of interest, this has been done in a Black Series, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Have you got that one, John?
Yeah, I got that one.
Does this look the same? Does it look like they've scaled it down?
It looks very similar. From what I can tell, the details, some of they have some more like the console things behind the windshield there that are not in some of the previous versions that are in the Black Series version.
Right.
Some of the weather looks to be in the same place, but
it could be there's been some cost saving there. Then if they haven't physically re-sculpted it, at least I know they would have had to make new tooling for it. But there may have been an opportunity there.
Yeah, and that's not me saying we didn't need a land speeder. It's like I was wondering what was wrong with the old one. I would have still been agreeable to a repack of the previous one or a repaint of that. But because I want people to have a land speeder. I'll take another one.
For people that don't, I don't think the last one is awful.
No.
To the point. That's my thing with updates. I'm like, if it's a really bad outdated update, sure, I'll take it. But if it's like not bad, then it's like maybe there's other things I would love the other some of the other land speeders from Mos Eisley, like the one that goes in front of the Ronto in the special edition, or the one outside the Cantina, things like that. You know what I'm saying? But not to poo-poo it, because it does look nice from what we can see.
Yeah.
And even I think Chaz mentioned earlier up there about we should be getting the due back for this Return to Tatooine, and we get a new land speeder and we don't get the due back. I'd feel a little bit like that was the missed opportunity. So I'd hope that this hasn't been put in front of other things which I feel are more important. But,
and the due back was another one that was released in the Black Series around the same time, like between 2016 and 2018, and I have that as well. The sculpt is, sorry to say, but the sculpt on that one is phenomenal. It's an awesome piece, and it would be awesome to have a couple of them in vintage collection. Even though, again, we have older ones and ones that are the special edition looking one and the episode 1 looking one, but an all new one based on the Black Series one would be very welcome by me.
This makes sense, though.
We need a definitive ASP 7, yes, clearly, with droids smashing action.
But the land speeder makes perfect sense. It would be weird if we didn't get a land speeder during the Return to Tatooine, especially with all the focus on the streets of Tatooine, Mos Eisley, the Cantina. Makes perfect sense. It really is just like, did we need to spend the money on a new one, or so I don't know. And the image here that we have, the paint deco looks incredible, very weathered. Which figure did they skip painting for that? So
speaking of figures, were you gonna say this?
No, I was gonna say my brain was going elsewhere in terms of accessories, but I was just going to say, where I think the guys were talking about accessories on the last live stream, those obviously there's a lot of things going in the background there which are historic things that we've got, but a lot of people don't have, and it does make you wonder if things like the moisture evaporators would make quite good little pack-ins with something. Again, there's an opportunity at the moment to bring them out with something else. Some of these other things I think are just as easily could be put out there as part of this campaign as well, but we probably just won't see it.
We'll see. Chess says, will they top it off with a HasLab Sandcrawler? No, they started it off with a HasLab Cantina. That's everyone always wondering about a Return to Tatooine HasLab. Guess what? You had your chance.
Yeah.
A lot of people bought it and a lot of people didn't. So there you go. Yes, I would love more of the moisture evaporators, but they do produce vapor. See, another thing I don't know how to pronounce, but because they had it with the Luke in 2007. But yes, so I agree with this. I agree with this comment.
Absolutely. Yeah. For listeners in the future, mainstream vehicles like this accommodate folks who are newer to collecting too, which new recruits always help the longevity. The more, the better. Yes, Return of the Jedi. I agree.
Yes, absolutely. For people that somehow can't buy the old one on eBay or whatever. But anyway, I'm just saying.
Oh man!
And
but
yeah,
you
I
were
guess
done.
Well, I was going to do the segue, and then I realized that I have one more thrilling thing to say about this. The previous ones, they had a little lever that would like pop out wheels, and some of them were like the same color as land speeder, some were invisible, invisible, quote unquote, clear plastic. But the Black Series one does have a stand, like Lewis mentioned, like the speeder bike, kind of. So I assume they will follow suit with that, which it's a play feature going away, which is fine. But
so
the wheels were never really
doesn't have the wheels.
Yeah. No, I don't even, honestly, I don't remember. It's been a minute.
Okay, because I'm going to go ahead and say that I loved the little wheels feature on the land speeders. That was one of my favorite parts of that vehicle.
Yeah.
But that's because I grew up playing with trains and stuff when I was a little kid, and so I liked things that rolled.
To use John's term, wishability. Was it John's term or your term, Evan?
Yes.
Yeah. One of the two of you.
Fast and the Furious, Mos Eisley Drift. Like, do this.
I'm looking at the Rebel Scum review of this. I don't see mine's packed away somewhere. I don't think it has wheels on this. It definitely has a stand. But yeah, the land speeder was when I was new to Star Wars, and I got the one in the 90s. I got a lot of play with Luke and Han and Lando going on adventures in the land speeder and stuff, and going around Tatooine. I remember the Return of the Jedi, the Super Nintendo game, also started with a different land speeder level, which I loved. So I'd kind of recreate some of that stuff, but. Yes, totally agree that these kinds of things, these major, I'll say the I word iconic vehicles are going to bring people to the line, which is great. And I think, it'll be a nice thing to have a definitive version of, so no wheels, but a clear stand on the TBS one.
Okay. Yeah. I'm curious to see how it looks. I mean, I'm happy to get it. I'm excited to see when they officially reveal, to see some of the photos more up close.
Yeah. So should we move on to Obi-Wan?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I'm
here for. Oh wait.
Hello there. I don't know. What do you see in this Obi-Wan, Evan? I assume it's the new one. We know there's a new one pipelined. We haven't seen anything for it yet. This might be it. Based on
some of the pixels I can make out.
Can you zoom any further on this?
I could, but it's already pretty blurry on my.
It's hard. I can remember zooming on it to try and look at details. It's really hard to tell.
I could run it through some AI enhancement, but I'm not going to do that at all. I would say this does appear to be new. The head looks like it has a little bit more, based on the few pixels of shadows I can see. It looks like that might be the new head sculpt. It doesn't look like the previous one, which is the Legacy one. Is 2000?
Yeah, they did it. They did a 2004, the VOTC one, the first wave that launched off the vintage packaging. And then they did the 2009 Legacy Collection one with the Leia table. The Leia hologram table that R2 projects on and stuff. Which I like that figure. Again, I think it's pretty good, but I'll take a new one as well.
I am so excited for the new one. That is my most wanted OT figure. So I'm glad that we've got that coming. Especially with just like, again, with figures like Indara and Sol and, the robed figures. I am so excited to see this figure in detail. I want to see it. I can't wait. I mean, even though, yes, in the source material, he was not a very spry guy. I think it would be a really awesome dynamic action figure. So I'm really, really excited to see how this one turns out. So
yeah, Agreed. He can go with your Rebels figures as well for that scene that he's in. And
he can fight the Darth Maul that we don't have. It'll be great. He can, talk to the Ezra that we do have.
But it's nice that when I got Luke, I was like, oh no, I want to see him next to Leia and Vader and stuff, and to flesh out the A New Hope characters that they're doing. Still over the course of this year and last. So excited for more info on that.
Yeah.
Not quite sure when we'll get that.
And he would lend some good arms and legs underneath the skirt, but legs because he's got generic boots in A New Hope. So I think that would lend some nice tooling to the Jedi library as well. Again, I always bang on that drum. Always happy to see that.
Yes, yes. And speaking of his lower body tooling, he's sitting down in the land speeder because we always wonder about whether they're going to have soft goods or be plastic like Leia, and which kind of looks great, but inhibits the articulation. So at least here, maybe they just cut him in half and put him in there.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah. We don't know. We don't know how he's fit.
Considering though the soft goods that we got on Anakin, the Clone Wars Anakin we just got in this wave, and
true.
Revenge of the Sith Anakin, it seems like they're leaning towards soft goods for these Jedi characters that have the longer skirts that might inhibit things that they are seen doing.
Luke has a mid-level skirt and Endara has a short skirt, so they both can make awesome poses. But I'm glad that Anakin has these soft goods.
Yeah. Then again, Balon and Shin buck that trend. They're sculpted, but that was explained to us because with fabric and soft goods, they wouldn't be able to get the matching detail and texture of those costumes. So I agree with their choice on that one.
I mean, the posing you've seen Balon do, it doesn't seem to inhibit him at all, does it? I mean, we may get him in hand, and perhaps there will be some limitations, but it seems to work fine.
Yeah, I prefer the plastic. I know this was talked about on the last stream that I was not there. Sorry, guys, but the soft goods versus plastic skirts, I think aesthetically, I very much prefer the sculpted soft plastic. So I'd like to be able to at least have an option. So I will double dip if they offer the figure both ways. So I would prefer that aesthetically, but I do like the function over form of the soft goods when it comes to having these figures be the best that they can be and do all the things that we want them to do.
I agree.
So speaking of figures that can't do all that we want them to do, people got a little excited. We saw that C-3PO, started showing up on rumor lists. But it's got telltale signs of as I did last time, I got the exclusive first look at this figure. Wow. Can you believe it? It's got telltale signs of being the 2010 BC-06 C-3PO. They have repacked, repainted many, many, many times, including a straight repack, a slight repaint in 2020. The Grants Galaxy says it all right here.
Yeah.
But the face, so in the image, you can kind of see the face and chest plates do not 100% sit flush, and you can see the cuts on the bottom of his. I don't know if I'm gonna do a solo layout real quick, but you can see the cuts on the underneath the circle on his torso. The little cuts to the side. You can see those in the image here, as well as the very, very sharp elbows that he's got, the protrusions on his elbows, as well as the hand positions that he has, where the right hand is open and the left hand is like a Lego style C grip for when he's holding all those accessories that we love, to remember him holding in the movies, which definitely happened.
The tiny little comm link that Luke has now, it's too small to fit in that C grip.
So I don't know. Maybe it's a C-3PO style thing, or like Battle Droid, where they added some elements, because like he's sitting pretty flush, but like you can get. I'm trying to get that with the old figure, but you can get that with the old figure where you can kind of sit down like that. Let's see, does that look like the land speeder? I think it's probably the same figure. But I guess one positive thing on this is that his legs sit down in the little like a well behind Luke's chair, which is also in the Black Series land speeder and is in the movie and is not in any of the previous 3.75 inch land speeders, which is nice. But C-3PO is rocking the beer gut. So that's one cool thing about the land speeder, and maybe not as cool about the C-3PO. And of course, he's not as shiny. A lot of every year on the March Madness list. We get some for C3PO, some amount. Maybe he'll make the bracket. Maybe he won't. You'll have to find out in a few weeks. But people always post, I want him vac metal. I want him vac metal. I want him shiny at least. And this guy looks the exact same as the existing one. So I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be a shame. I remember it was probably a year or so ago. Steve Evans on his own page actually asked the question, what's the worst figure in TVC? Which figure is most in need of an update? And that was the one that I chose. There was a few that went round. I sort of tough decisions, battle droids perhaps, or Qui-Gon Jinn was another one I nearly put down. But for me, the 3PO was the one that it's most in need of an update. It looks so out of place. It's all the bits fall off it. It's out of scale. It's desperately needs to be done. And if they do repack that, I think there'll be a huge outcry. I mean, there really will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if it's not a repack? What if they gave him new legs and then the rest is reused?
That's insane.
Like they did for someone else in the New Hope mains.
Yeah, I don't think that's enough for that figure. I really don't.
No, because look at how people are saying, the scale. Just compared to Luke, like you can see them in the movie next to each other. There's supposed to be a full human man in this costume.
Luke is small too compared to
Luke is a short guy, so like there's no way that just does not work out. I know he's not that tall, C3PO Anthony Daniels, but it would be, I think people are just excited because they didn't mention him when they pipelined the other New Hope mains. My hopes aren't super high for a new one. But seeing this, maybe it's a placeholder, maybe a new one's coming and we'll all be very excited.
Maybe they didn't mention him with the A New Hope mains because maybe he's our only Revenge of the Sith celebratory figure, or our Force Awakens celebratory. We get 3 different 3POs to celebrate the anniversaries, which wouldn't be mad if it was a new one, because a protocol droid would be an incredibly high mileage sculpt. We talk about those all the time. They could repack and repaint that bad boy until the cows come home. It's
I think the guys touched on that in the last stream, didn't they? I think it may have been Tim that had 3PO on his list, and he said the same thing. I mean, there's so many different protocol droids that can be made. It just it's insane to not make a new sculpt.
Welcome to the SWTVC show, where we just repeat things over and over and over again, hoping that something will stick.
Someone listens to us.
Please listen, please. But I don't know. So we'll see what happens. Steve Murphy said it perfectly. We seem to be made to suffer. It's a lot in life.
Yeah.
But wait, put that post up back up for a second here. There you go. Yeah. So there's some other stuff in the background that the moisture evaporated, maybe some sand. Maybe we'll get some sand. Hey, look, some sand troopers perhaps as well. Cannot tell. I have honestly no idea if they're new or not. I should have compared the folds of that rifle in the background to see. But is it new? I don't know. Who knows? I hope you guys are ready. We're going into the sand dunes. We're going into get your snorkels ready because we're taking a deep dive, folks. We're going into sand troopers. Why not? Why not? So before everybody leaves, please like and subscribe and follow us and have good opinions of us, because we'll see what happens with this. But
I only turned up for this. I only turned up for a bit of John's education. I need to. I feel like I've not had some Star Wars education in a while.
So you may think that sand troopers are just standard stormtroopers with extra gear, but you'd be wrong. The sand trooper costumes, filming wise, their sand trooper costumes were put together and filmed in Tunisia before principal photography began in England, and feature some perhaps unintentional differences between the costumes. So as you can see, same vibes overall, but the midsections are different. Let me get rid of this sidebar here. Surprisingly, maybe not that surprising, but these don't have the painted dots, the actual colored dots. So that's one way they are different. You can compare, you can look, they're very similar, but they're not quite the same. Let's get up real close on that guy. When else am I going to talk about this? So you can't get this on the podcast. There's a stormtrooper we all know and love, we're familiar with.
Yeah, future audio listeners, maybe I'll cut this part out.
Maybe just get rid of this part. Tune into the YouTube stream for this thrilling content. So they are different. And there's more to say on the knees later, but that's, I got to save something for later.
Work your way down.
Yeah. So you can see the helmets. There are different details on the helmets, like some of the gray line, the gray. There are lines in some of the gray detailing. The lenses are flat instead of curved. And then once we get to Return of the Jedi, they made some new helmets for the end of Empire Strikes Back. You can't really tell the difference, but between A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, the helmets are quite different, with the frown, quote unquote, being very pronounced on the A New Hope one, and much darker and more filled in with less gray detailing teeth in that mouth area, among other things that I'm not really 100% sure about. So we'll go ahead and look on that. Maybe some placeholders. But
can
yeah,
I
so
just throw a fake fan card in here and be like, I know
yes,
people have talked about the difference between Return of the Jedi and earlier Stormtroopers, and I've never noticed
see, well, here we are.
whatsoever.
I'm here to get you mad about things you never knew about.
I'm not mad.
I'm
just impressed.
You'll get mad. You'll get mad. I'm gonna get you mad here in a minute.
Thank you.
So yes, I'm sorry. I ran out of time to do a knee comparison, but there are plenty of pictures of the knees. So just you wait, everybody. It's gonna be fine. So of course they also have the pauldron. Where does this pauldron come from? You may or may not know. It is a dirt bike chest protector. Here is a recreation of it. Here's a replica in many different beautiful colors, but they took it from the chest and they turned it to the side. Maybe they were out there on the sand dunes thinking about dirt bikes and they got excited about these. I'm not sure, but that's what those are.
I did not know that.
See, there you go. We're learning here today, folks. And there's a little bit of controversy about which company made this exact one. Torsten Hallman seems to be the winner on various prop forums and things, but some people said, I'm not sure about this snap here. I think different companies made that. So I don't know. It is a dirt bike chest protector. So who knows? But in the film,
I was told they never used anything from real life.
Well, for now they did. And so I'm going to say it's controversial. I know we see a lot of nice colors here. I'm going to say something very controversial, perhaps the most controversial thing I've ever said. There are only 3 pauldron colors in A New Hope. There is orange, white, and black. Gray does not exist. I know gray's on the screen right now. These are replicas. They're not in the film. So Hasbro, I'm sorry you made a gray one, but you were wrong the whole time. Wrong. Sometimes it looks gray, but we'll discuss this. Yes, QVC. I will be selling. Go to Torsten Hallman Dirt Bike Chest Protectors.com for more. Please don't actually go there. I have no idea what that is. But so. Yeah, like I said, gray was done by Hasbro, all 4 of them. I think it's just quote unquote dirty white. And at least one of the white ones has like lines in the white part, and we'll get to that in a minute. The others are smooth. They all feature lines under the chin, as you can see, sort of right here, which goes under the chin, like on this guy right here. Beautiful. All right. Wow. Little did you know. But for more on this particular topic of the colors, pick any random Rebel Scum forum thread. They're probably talking about it in there right now. So much as with the Cantina, as we discussed earlier, the Sand Trooper scenes were done over continents, over generations of filming. So, and like I said, there are differences between the Tunisia shoot and the England shoot. Where am I here? The Sand Trooper costume, but so they had some more scenes shot in England, including the streets of Mos Eisley, where the Sand Troopers are, which matches pretty well since I think the same costumes were used instead of introducing those updated Stormtrooper parts into the Sand Trooper ranks. And then when George added more shots of the Sand Troopers for the special edition, as seen in the great documentary Anatomy of a Dewback, now on Disney Plus and Blu-rays and whatnot. I remember watching that in the dial-up 30 years ago. They used a third set of costumes, those aforementioned Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper costumes originally created for Empire Strikes Back. I don't even know where they showed up in Empire Strikes Back, but they took the Return of the Jedi costumes, added Sand Trooper parts. They had to recreate the backpacks with the more bulbous eyes, and that's how we ended up with the A New Hope Special Edition Sand Troopers, which, your mileage may vary on that. So
would that be the closest one then, if Hasbro were to take the current Stormtrooper sculpt and stick a pauldron on it. Would that be the closest we'd get?
Sort of, yes. I think so. Like I'd say the Return of the Jedi helmet was kind of done in the VOTC line when it was the Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper, and there are some that match it more with like the fully black mouth. But yeah, because there are differences in the helmet, maybe not. But yeah, so these guys have like the regular Stormtrooper belly, I believe. They were just repainted and weathered. But like these guys, you can see they got the Return of the Jedi helmets right there, with the bulbous eyes and the larger black frown. And do they have the they're hiding their bellies, they're modest guys. But so then I'm trying to figure out, shouldn't I be working? That's what I was really trying to figure out yesterday. But in the special edition, I believe there were 4 costumes that were used. See these 4 Return of the Jedi costumes with, there they are without their helmets. All of them have black pauldrons. In these 2 shots from the A New Hope, they had 2 shots in which there are so 4 actors in this shot. These 2 guys on the left, including one with binoculars. These 2 guys on the right, including one with binoculars, are on his neck. And then 2 digital sand troopers, also with black pauldrons. And then those 2 of the real actors walk in front of the camera like that, and there's 2 more in the background. So I think there's only 4 on set, but there's meant to be 6 real guys in the scene and 3 more on CGI dewbacks. So all to say, when you're building your scenes, there are supposedly 9 in here. And then we go back to the OG footage where we see 2 more dewbacks. So that's 5 dewbacks in the scene. And then the sand troopers come over this way. Look, sir, droids. And then, of course, I'm sorry, I'm a fake fan. I'm showing the escape pod without the blue covering that was in the original version, but this is a special edition version. Look at that beautiful glint off of that guy's helmet. Wow, what cross glint. So yeah, I don't know, were they falling all around? Did they just immediately fall out of the jump ship when they got there?
they literally
how did they get so dirty?
Yeah, it didn't land.
It's an Imperial drop ship, so I mean, why not? So yeah, what did I have in here? So in the original, what am I going to hear? There seemed to be 6 costumes on set in the original 70s shoot, including 2 orange, 2 white, and 2 black pauldrons, as far as I can tell. And the special edition, the dewback rider with the white, see, and you can see those guys right here.
John, you spent far too long on this.
I know, you're telling me.
Bread on Fett. This is like the nerd version of the Zapruder footage analysis.
I have stunning information that I'll be sharing at the end of this, but I got to keep you around. So yes, as you can see, there's 2 black pauldrons, 2 white pauldrons, 2 orange pauldrons. Not a gray in sight. Yes, I know. That's what black and white looks like when it's in black and white. And look at that fur on the dewback. We forgot about the fur on the dewback when they did it for the special edition stuff. But they are hairy guys. It gets cold in the desert at night. So yes, there were 5 walking around, and then 1 on the dewback that was replaced by 2 CGI ones. So yes, exciting stuff. There's 14 total in the scene. So you need 14 sand troopers to fill out this scene. Long story short, collecting wise.
That could have been an email.
It could have been an email, but we're not even close to done because we're still going, people. There's still 109 people here, so I got to give the people what they don't want, but what they need. So then we get back into, when we go to most sites,
I didn't know they needed it, but now they do.
Yeah.
We see the special edition, which I will use this again to say that is not the Outrider. It was not plucked from Shadows of the Empire. The Shadows of the Empire took a special edition design and put it in their comics and video games and whatnot. So there you go. So stop saying it's Dash Runner, it's Outrider. How many with the ammo pack on some of this? How many are the dewbacks mammals or reptiles? I don't know. See, I could get even farther in the weeds, and I probably will at some point. But for today, we're just looking at the pauldrons and how many actual costumes there were on set. This shot in the special edition, I love it because they clearly just filmed 2 stormtroopers looking at something, and then they reverse them for the other side of the street. So this guy's like looking at a scurrier down here. This guy is, I don't know, he's just looking at the ground or something. He was listening to a podcast about sand troopers and he got bored, so his mind started to wander. then we get to the original footage, the main show we're all here for. These aren't the droids you're looking for. So again, there are 6 sand troopers in this scene. There are 2 orange pauldrons, 2 black pauldrons, 2 white pauldrons. I think that's all they made. That's what I'm trying to say here, folks. That's my big bombshell, but I'm going to give it to you right now.
Ooh.
So
so the Empire wasn't quite as big as you think it was.
Yeah.
It's the same 4 guys over and over again.
Clearly. So there's the main orange one who does the talking. And then there's another orange one who doesn't have a backpack. So I think they only made 5 backpacks because in any given scene, there's one guy without a backpack, including the first orange pauldron guy who I forgot to point out didn't have a back. This guy right here. So if Hasbro wants to get away, I'm not going to give them an out, but if they want to get away with releasing one without a backpack, they probably could. And they probably will.
Yeah.
Or do you get an army builder pack where you throw in a couple of backpacks, but not all 4 or something like that?
Yeah.
Imagine that will happen.
Yep. So there were 3 guys back here. I didn't get a screen capture one. I'm just trying to help you set up your scenes, right? And there's 3 different blasters. There's the short blaster, the long blaster, and then this blaster that has all the extra stuff on the side, which Hasbro has made. Thank God. So there's 2 black pauldrons over here, 1 white pauldron, the orange here, and then another, I believe, white over here. Let's go further. And some people on their lists, they wanted this guy with his messed up little rubber black thing. It's kind of his little eyebrow thing is up a little bit. And of course, we got him on a card with, we're going down here. No, we didn't get that guy on a card. Just kidding. I lied to you faces, and I'm very sorry about that. There's a land speeder. You can compare it to the other scene. Oops, Hasbro forgot to put Obi-Wan's hood up. So there you go. But look at C-3PO's legs back there in that thing. Wow, perfect. One more thing I will say on the Black Series land speeder, they had a little hole so you can put R2-D2's little thing on his face. You can stick him in there so he doesn't fall off when you're whooshing him around your house, which I thought was nice, and hopefully maybe they'll do that again for TVC. But there's some more CGI Stormtroopers right here. How many cases does Tyler have to buy? He already bought all of them. They haven't even been announced or made. There's 3 Stormtroopers right here. I didn't get a good screenshot, but there's 2 more right here. You can see his leg right here. But in the special edition, they added just some regular Stormtroopers on Tatooine. Then we get to outside the cantina. First of all, I want this droid. This is the droid I was talking about. There's another black and white R5 as well, who I did not get a screenshot of, but there he is.
Over 3PO's backpack.
Yes.
Or not his backpack, but his back piece. You can see the top of the Ubrikian.
Yes.
I want that. I love the Stan Solo one that they did.
Yeah, I've got that. It's great. It's a great
so friggin' cool. I really want a really nice TVC one. But
and there was one earlier, and I think they just Photoshop copy and pasted earlier in the scene with the ASP-7, the ASP-7, where he smacks the droid like we talked about.
Yeah.
In front of the Rebel transport for some reason. Here's another 2 dewbacks in the scene. One was added, one was replaced, and then we got the Gerba over here. If you haven't seen the Gerba, just looking at stuff in the scene outside the cantina. This creature, and there's a little gonk droid who I never noticed in this scene, kind of talking to R2 and 3PO. So maybe after Wooher kicked him out, they're over here in the droid zone talking to their pals. So the Empire takes them notice of them. They're like, oh yeah. But out here, say what?
What animal is a Gerba? Like that they just put something on an animal.
This wasn't a real animal. It's on like fake like stilt legs, and if you see some other behind the scenes images, it looks very noticeably fake.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
And then the okay, back to the Sand Troopers. Please don't distract me. Please keep me.
I'm so sorry, dude. These scenes are just so fast and intense, and
they're just so fast. That's so dense. There's so much going on in every frame. We got an orange pauldron guy and a white pauldron guy with a long blasters on in Tunisia, I believe, right? Or did they somehow film this? They filmed this in Tunisia, right? So how did they? I'm confused about if they got Garuf Lafaux to be in England as well. Oops. But and then we got come on, preview. We got Mr. CGI Sand Trooper over here, the finest work of the 1990s. I watched the Anatomy of the Dewback short yesterday, as you could probably tell, and they were very proud with what they could do in 1997 for these guys.
He hasn't got a backpack on, has he? Has that guy got?
He does have a backpack, but I don't think he has a.
Really
it doesn't look like he has a pauldron to me. No. It looks just like his regular shoulder. See, this is the kind of stuff you can't get in the audio format, people, but
Yeah, it's riveting.
he kind of clips, and it's kind of like you don't look at him too close. But if you run out of pauldrons, so this is Tunisia. But so then did they bring this? Is this a different Garuf Lafaux actor? Boy, I didn't ask. But they did keep it consistent with the Sand Troopers in this. And they shot in England on the inside of the cantina because it's an orange pauldron and a white pauldron, both with the long blasters. So you need an orange one and a white one for your Cantina HasLab, folks. And I'll bring your attention to a couple more things. I know we were all so distracted. There's SWTVC back there, the only shot he appears in the entire movie, from what I can tell. And these were, and let's take another deep dive real quick. We'll take a deep dive. The main image that everybody sees of SWTVC has purple eyes because that was a photoshopped image. It was a colorized image. So some people think it's the real one. I did my card a couple weeks ago. But I thought looking at this, it kind of looks like yellow eyes. But then if you look at the actual mask that Cantina archaeologist Tom Spina has, they are silver. So yes, anyway, there's SWTVC. And then of course, Cabe drinking into her chin. We all love that scene. Kind of missed the mark on that one, buddy, but that's okay. So anyway, so yes, there was good continuity between the Tunisia scene and the the Dubac's breaking the fourth wall, and all the cups on the table you're going to have soon. Thank God. They both have backpacks. So then let's go to the streets of Mos Eisley for when we got that play set, which I believe this was filmed in England, but I'm not 100% sure. There's 4 of them, all with the short blasters. There is where is my notes? Of course, 1 orange pauldron. This is the special edition guy. There's the Bantha droid. I know you guys are like, who's the Bantha droid? There's the Bantha droid. There's an orange one, a black one, a white one, and I'm not sure, but I think it's black. Actually, I'm just kidding. I got a little ahead of myself. I'm getting a little excited here. But yes, will any of this be on the test? This will all be on the test. I need to see. I need to see photos of your setups, and they better be correct. Okay. The cups of the cantina.
Yep.
All right, we're getting there. So then this is the money shot here where they all walk in. Ooh, boy, I love this shot. Okay, and now we can finally see their knees, which are different than the regular Stormtrooper knees, especially this guy right here. It was a set in the Stormtrooper costumes. Their left shin piece is all one thing in the front, which goes up to a kind of diamond shape. This has a separate diamond shape that they put over top of it. This is a detail that clearly everybody cares about, but Hasbro has never done it correctly on a 3 3/4 inch figure. They did it correctly on the Black Series. So when they do a new one, because I'm sure it's only a matter of time, I need them to get the midsection right, and I need them to get the knee right. Please and thank you, if for nobody else than me. Please.
And the colors. Right.
And the colors, yes. No gray. If I see a gray pauldron, I'm going to go through the roof. I think, going back, I think the gray, some people think this is gray, but it's just white with shadow, much like his shoulder right here. Okay, he doesn't have a gray shoulder pad. All right. And I'll be hearing no arguments to the contrary. So yes, I love this shot. I made a card of it, which I probably should have shared. This main guy does not have a backpack. This guy is holding his blaster upside down right here. Little Easter egg. See the things you notice when you spend way too much time. A lot of the people in the background, it's funny because they're all dressed like Obi-Wan or Han or Luke or like his friends Cammy and Fixer. They could have, if they wanted to, they could have released a lot of random Tatooine women on that candy body they made 15 years ago. And I'm sure they didn't want to, but, and they didn't. So there you go. So 7 of them roll up to talk to Gurundan. But wait a minute, didn't they only make 6 costumes? Yes, there's a regular Stormtrooper right here. However, he does have the weird midsection and knee pad. And I think this is a colorized image. You can see his knee pad right here. And you can see that the fact that there is a 7th one, you can see his little feet back there behind the main orange guy. So you need 7 to go talk to Gurundan. Again, 2 orange, 2 white, and 2 black. See, the white one has some lines in there. I don't know why. I just don't know why. But that's what it is. And you got a Greedo guy, a Rodian, walking around there without his thing. So then let's continue our England journey into Docking Bay 94. Again, there are 7, some good continuity. Some of the weapons get switched around, bad continuity. That's okay. We love them anyway. Again, 2 orange, orange here, orange there, 2 black, and 2 white. That's where we see all the pauldrons together. So long story short, let's just get some sand troopers, okay? But and then when we go to so we never see more than 6 fully kitted up sand troopers. They're here with a stormtrooper, and then we see the same guy fall over like 3 different times due to the magic of editing. And then when the Falcon takes off, we are back to CGI land for the special edition, and there are 9 sand troopers in here. 1 orange guy, the rest have black pauldrons, and they all have the regular short blaster. I believe this guy might have the long blaster. So clearly, they did not have this deep dive technology at the time. Thank you, StarWarsScreencaps.com, for allowing this homework, John, to happen. Yeah, they totally messed up. And then they take away, and there is this shot is good because it shows off the 3 blasters right here. The regular E11, whatever it's called, this long boy, and then this guy that's more kitted out. And there are 4 here, so you need 4 to watch as they go away. Just a master class in how you reuse the same assets over and over. 5 backpacks, 6 pauldrons, 7 stormtrooper costumes reused over and over again to create the illusion. There's a lot on the screen. So will you only buy 7 sand troopers? Will you buy a bunch more to match how many are in the scene? Not quite sure. Yeah, like
or you can just be like Tyler and you just absolutely fill a shelf with them.
Yeah, 800,000 of them.
Buy as many until the bank tells you can't.
So then, yes, we do have some sand troopers in TVC. These images are from Bantha School, of course. Is this a school in Aladdin? Feels like they wish. This is a show about how to spend your money. That's a show about how to make money. School about how to make money. So this VC 14 had the white pauldron one. This is a repack of the Dubak one, but it had, and then it's got the, I forgot the other blaster, the big cannon. So there's, I guess, 4 different weapons that they use in the film. And this was, there were 2 in TVC, a VC-14, a very clean white pauldron, a very dirty orange pauldron, a VC-112 near the end of 1.0, a special edition shot, an original version shot with the special edition droid. So
those cards are terrible.
Yeah, they're not very good.
Like the first one he's holding, you can't even see the face.
Yeah. I like that he's active, but he doesn't even include the binoculars in the figure.
Dude,
which is strange.
Okay.
And then we got this guy, which seems to be, I don't know, is that a photoshopped black pauldron? But in the Legacy collection, you got the black pauldron one. And there were many in years prior that I'm not even going to go over because we know all about those already. So yes, we need at least 200 of them. I'm sure you already know that. And yeah, he also needs barbell hips. So this would be another perfect, if they're going to retool the lower, torso, I would love to get some barbell hips on these guys. So thank you. That was my TED talk about those guys.
Bravo, John.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
So see, everyone, let this stand as a testament to the madness of March Madness, is that it has taken a relatively normal, sane, good dude and turned him into just a sad, broken shell of a man.
Reading about the different unidentified characters drove me simply nuts for the 5th year in a row.
Oh man, God bless you, John. Let
me actually pull up my other card real quick while I have it on. Thinking about it.
Yeah, please do.
In the JPEG section. So yeah, so there were only 7 on set. Put up some of the comments that are applauding me because I could use it. You know what I'm saying?
There we go.
Thank you. That's all I need. Let me present. Thank you.
So all we need now is for Hasbro to actually make them.
Yes. So hopefully somebody from Hasbro is watching this. So here's another card you can use. I want this card.
This is the drawing board, John. They're sitting there watching it, and now they've got. Oh no, we're going to change it.
Oh no, they know. They finally know that we can't just use the same Stormtrooper. But yeah, if you want the Return of the Jedi special edition version, because clearly the Lucasfilm was reusing assets. The Empire was reusing assets, so why shouldn't Hasbro? But this is the card that I would like, even though it's the guy without the backpack, but he's got that big cannon. And I forgot they had the light up one as well in the 2013 line, which would be awesome. If there's one takeaway, it's do not buy the Gray Sand Trooper. There's no such thing as a Gray Sand Trooper. Gray Sand Troopers. Oh, yeah, sorry.
So the more you showed the images of the special edition shots with the Return of the Jedi, now I cannot unsee it, because to me, those helmets look so bad compared to
they're longer, aren't they?
They look like
they look like thinner, longer.
look like the squished removable helmet on action
Mhm.
figure. They look squished.
Yes.
Dang, dude. Thanks for ruining Star Wars for
Yes.
me.
It looks a little bit like the vintage one. I think the kind of the one like they had in the investment playset a little bit, and some of the older ones from TVC 1.0.
I'll try and cut down some snippets from that for social media shareability.
Where people need to know.
Yeah, spread the good word, everybody.
I'm sure we could send out a slideshow presentation to people if they want to go through it. So,
just make little video brochures that we send in the mail to people to open up.
Yes. So hopefully so they're aware of the differences between the sculpts, at least. I mean, because they did it for Black Series. There's also, of course, the Sand Troopers in Rogue One on Jeddah, which sometimes they're called Jeddah Stormtroopers, sometimes they're called Sand Troopers Jeddah. And there's the what are the Brazier Boys said Sand Trooper in the name pillar or Imperial Stormtrooper Desert Battle Gear. I think because the original Sand Trooper, the Power of the Force one, was called Tatooine Stormtrooper on its original release.
Yeah.
So they could do that.
I like the idea that the Empire has special gear for every planet. Hoth, Tatooine, Endor. Yeah.
And then I'm sure the 501st people could find a lot more differences than I could. And I know there's stunt versions and there's hero versions and there's close-ups and there's mistake versions when you watch A New Hope and the guy shoots Leia. One of them doesn't have any lines on the side of his helmet and stuff like that. So when you watch the movies 18,000 times and look for new action figures to buy, the Tunisia No Dots costume error, the iconic. Oh man. So that's my Sand Trooper spiel. I don't know what else I got on that one, but
all right. For those keeping track at home, too long didn't watch or too long fell asleep. There's 7.
There's 7, but one of them doesn't have any gear.
One of them doesn't have any gear. There's 5 backpacks.
5 backpacks, 6 pauldrons, 2 of each color.
Okay.
No such thing as gray. That's what I learned yesterday. There's 4 blasters, including 3 rifles and 1 little guy. So we need them all. We need them all in TVC.
So that's the pack. We need that one pack.
That's the 7 pack. Yeah, like the Cantina Band pack. All 7.
Yeah.
I should have named this episode a gray area just to upset you.
Nice.
Might have to go back and fix
You
that.
can rename it, yeah. And then a 4-pack of the black pauldron special edition ones, and then some CGI ones, which are just NFTs that we can download from Hasbro's website.
Man.
Yeah. So right. I don't know how we can possibly top that, but
we really can't. We really can't. Yeah, I don't know. Do we want to?
I want to ask about, because we talked about what other people have talked about it. We've talked about it on Victoria's show with Toys Are the Way. She talked about it. The fact that they will be doing beyond Return to Tatooine, there will be a new brand story every year until the Heat Death of the Universe or the line. So we're brimming with ideas. My notes app is just brimming with notes. Yeah. And as you can well imagine after that. However, I'll spare you some of this for now, but I do want to do a Return to Hoth deep dive. I got to return to the Siege of Mandalore deep dive. So you can do it.
Yeah,
we're going to game while looking at the Sand Trooper costumes. We'll be going over those at some point. Not today. I clearly had a lot on my plate with the getting down to the bottom of the pauldron fiasco, pauldron controversy.
We'll be doing that as kind of a recurring bit on the show moving forward, as maybe those brand story not deep dives, but those, what are ones we'd like to see. So, maybe folks send us some ideas too, or if we generate some, maybe put out a call of what things would you like to see included in these brand stories. So I think it'd be kind of fun.
Throw some in the comments right there. Why not? But yeah.
So sweet. Yeah, dude. So we need dewbacks. We need Ubrikians. We need that little Astro droid. We need a Gonk droid. We need
R5 that I forgot to show off. But
yeah.
Somewhere.
But yeah, cool. And a new 3PO. There we go.
Yes. So I don't know. We'll go over this all again in even more excruciating detail when they actually announce any of this stuff.
Yeah. This is not the last you're hearing about Sand Troopers. Bet.
It supports the team. So team's doing pretty all right so far. We'll see what happens. Return to Naboo. The sequels, the Senate. Jakku. Why does everyone want to go back to Jakku?
I just was about to say it. Oh man.
Oh dear. So this is what it does to someone's brain when they sit and look at lists for so long.
Yeah.
The Sand Trooper was my vacation from the list.
You're way out,
dude.
Looking at it, yeah.
So how you doing, John? You holding up okay?
I'm doing all right. I could at least look at something that wasn't stark bright white on my screen for a little bit. At least had some sand weathering and stuff.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, hey, has there been anything you at the earlier bit of the show? I'm forgetting how to speak. I'm waking back up. Earlier in the show, we were talking about pronunciation. What was that?
Just the white and yellow land speeder we talked about earlier, but yeah.
Okay. Talking about pronunciation, you'd brought one up. So one little recurring bit that we kind of wanted to throw in here towards the end. It's become increasingly apparent that the longer we do all this, I seem to personally struggle with pronouncing a lot of the wild and not so wild names that show up in Star Wars. As a kid, I thought I was pretty good at it, but as I've gotten older, on top of my grasp on reality kind of slipping away, my brain and mouth don't always work so good like I'd want them to. In my defense, though, I'm not the only one who messes this stuff up. Tyler Marock. Yeah. So Lewis, John, you guys have any names you want us to try to suss out the pronunciation of? John, I know you brought up Frog Lady's species earlier at the top.
Yes. I'm thinking ribbit's got to be RYBET. It's got to be ribbit. The first.
It's got to be ribbit.
Quirm, QERM, quirm. That's kind of gross. Quirm. Oh, Kerm. It's supposed to be like Kermit the Frog.
Like a Kermit.
Oh.
That was
Kerm
what I was
ribbit.
thinking, like Kermit.
Right. Okay.
Oh, it's definitely
Worm ribbit. It's on the nose, but it works.
Oh man!
If we can only get a name, we got a species 6 years after she debuted, but 5 years after she debuts.
All right. Guys,
oh yeah. Okay.
Star Wars is dead again.
One thing I want to say is thank you to Riley Bob again.
Yes,
for the
thank
super chat.
you, Riley Bob.
Thank you guys for the continued entertainment, spontaneous TED Talk from John, and all the work with March Madness. You guys crush it. Thank you, Riley Bob. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's a few crazy names, the long names that Evan has here for. You want to?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let's start with Maroc real quick, because Tyler, very last time on the stream, very strongly said Maroc.
Yeah, he leans into
Inquisitor. And I said, I think it's Merrick. Yeah. But he brought receipts. He brought the receipts because both Balon and Shin say it in the show. Yeah. And Tyler had screen recordings of both. I'm sure he carries them around at all times and didn't prepare them. But
to me, it sounded more like not Maroc, but like Maroc, like more less emphasis, less emphasis on the.
It sounded like Balon says it almost like Marek.
Yeah, Merrick.
But then Shin did say kind of Maroc, but Shin is
She says every word differently.
Well, they both.
I would say it.
They both have strong dialects, though, don't they?
Yeah.
In their own language. So I guess it's that thing. It's like Han. I think. I mean, over here in the UK, I think a lot of people do say Boba Fett.
Yeah. Maroc. My wife.
Han Solo, and I just think that it's the way that your language works that would lean you into to how it's said. And I don't know, I've heard Tyler say that too many times now, and it's in my mind. Maroc is how I now hear it because I've heard Tyler bang on about it so much. But I'll have to listen to it again on the show and see if I can pick up.
Yeah.
Man, I hate when Tyler's right. He's not here to defend himself. Thanks for the Enox, dog.
So we're just saying he's based on Shin's pronunciation. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the whole what is it? It's pronounced fart in a suit. No, it's pronounced Star Killer.
Obviously, it's Ezra.
Yeah. How do you say? How do you say? Omega.
Omega. Pronounce it Merrick. I like Merrick. Yeah, and George Lucas called it Hoth.
Hoth. He also, God,
the
Gungas, Gungans and Gungas.
I think George Lucas has called her Leia as well, wasn't he? Before Princess Leia.
Yeah, Princess Leia.
Which again, as a kid, that was how we often referred to her as Princess Leia, and I don't know if it's just an English thing. I mean, obviously, once you learn the name, you can change how you say it, but when you're just reading it off an action figure and you haven't seen the film too many times because we didn't all have DVDs to watch things over and over and over.
Yeah.
And you kind of say it how you feel it's spelt. So
And Leia, like, because General Dodonna calls her Leia, and that was like re-recorded lines. So
how did you say his name?
Jan Dodonna. I called him Dodonna, like Donna with a dough.
Yeah.
You called him
Okay. I said
Dodonna
Dodonna
or something.
Yeah.
Okay, Dodonna. Because I feel like you can't have the O with a double N right there. It's like Donna. And yeah, Lucas called Dooku Doku.
Yeah.
There's some earlier. Yeah. First of all, let me see. How do we pronounce his? It's a little close to part of the anatomy. So I go with Labria instead of Labria because I just can't say that. I just didn't know. But his full name is Cardu Sai Malak with extra.
So this is the one. So this is the one I threw out earlier, though, John. I bet you know this. I bet he knows it, Evan. Which is the Rebel Commander. I don't even know how you pronounce that. Pao. Is it?
I call it
Pao.
I always call it Pao.
Yeah. How?
But he's got a crazy full name. So what's his full name?
Let me see. I don't even know what his full name. It came up in the submissions, and I was like, oh yeah.
Someone actually used his full name.
Yeah, I'm hitting the Wikipedia. Oh my God! All right, here we go. I'll give it a try. Because he says he's a Drabotan, and he says Sakala, and he says I'm vamping here because he says Adat, and he says Karabas. Powdock Draba Takat Sap De Recti Nick Linky T Key Beth Nick Nade Seveth Likek. Clearly, that's off the top of my head. Totally not reading off Wikipedia right now.
Why did I get the feeling that you said something terrible?
I know. I was like, wait a minute. I think I said something I shouldn't have said. Yeah, and I think it's funny with the apostrophes, like in Cardu Sai Malak or in here or Mithra Nuodo.
I was just about to say, when we get Tyler back on here, we need to nail down how exactly to say that.
Ricky Ticket. Mithra Nuruodo, right? And as long as you hit the Thrawn in there, you're fine. But the fact,
as long as you hit the Thrawn.
Zahn is the godfather of apostrophes. Where it's like, am I supposed to? I guess when you say like don't, can't, won't, all the things I should be saying to pronouncing these names. But we don't hear them, so I don't know what the apostrophes are supposed to give us. But
well, we'll close it out on a redemption arc for me.
Elikanamen namen natu Elikanamen. Yes.
It's Klieg, Lars, right?
It's Klieg. Yes, not Klieg. Definitely not Klieg.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I've learned. I'm growing.
Grievous. What was Grievous's real name? It was my nerd card is being revoked at the minute. I'll look it back up.
The name of this segment, by the way, is Say My Name. So
when 112 people are around you. Oh, Kaimin. Yeah. I pronounce it Kaimain Jai Shilal.
What?
Maybe wrong. Kaimain Jai Shilal is my wife. Yeah, so if the history test wasn't enough for you, now we're on a spelling test, everybody. So we are back on AdAd and celebrating Skeleton Crew.
Yeah. Can I just say, Steve Areno's one there, which has been a big debate between all of us for the last so many years.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's Tentative Eve or Tentative 4. I always thought it was Tentative 4.
Yeah, I thought it was Tantive, and then John was like, "No, dummy."
Well, no, because that's all fair and fine, and it looks like that. But in the audio drama, and Pablo Hidalgo, God bless him, pointed this out. A man who I aspire to be every day of my life. He pointed out on his Twitter at some point that yes, in the audio drama they pronounced it Tantive 4 because there's a real world Tantivy, which makes it. But then it's like, okay, then why would you put the E? Because that does seem like it would be Tantive.
Yeah,
but it's supposed to be Tantive. Yeah, Tanis Spijek is how I call that.
Tanis Spijek, that sounds right.
Elon.
Lorena, I want to. Isn't Wim? I think we got a typo in our midst. Is it WIM?
WIM, yeah.
Boo.
Probably named after Jim from Treasure Island, of course. Just like Jod and Nanawit, Jod Silvo, John Silver. All right, get it, everybody. Here we go. Yes, stunning. So let's have ideas for pronunciation. Let's have ideas for brand stories.
Yep.
Keep them coming because I'm tapped out emotionally, creatively.
Yep. Well, while we all hit the end of our ropes, I think that's probably as good a time as any to start wrapping this up. Is there anything else that we need to touch on that we maybe didn't, or you guys want to throw out there?
Go buy this new wave because it's awesome.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can buy the next wave soon. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for you, Lewis. I hope it shows up soon.
Yeah, I'm hoping the new one's going to come next week. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
And folks out there, don't snooze on the Indara figure. She is
yes
so good, dude. Like, oh man, so excited.
Yes, just the posability is awesome. The one more pronunciation thing is great. Galaxy said, I don't care, nay now, but when he pronounces it in the show, when Jude Law, nah would, I'm like, oh my god, he's just biting it. He's chewing that scenery up. I love it. It's so good.
He's like, I'm in a Star War. We're doing this.
Yeah. And yes, however you want to pronounce it, that's great. George can't even pronounce it or get his actors to pronounce it the same way. So why should we? We like Twilight. It's all good.
Yeah.
But,
Gunga, Gungans, Dooku Doku.
Yeah.
We're good. So anyway, everybody, make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel here. Hit the like button on this video. Make sure you're following us over at SWTVC on Instagram. We will hopefully be back soon for another live stream or episode of the podcast. We'll figure it out. Lots of March Madness stuff underway because February is a short month. So before you know it, it's going to be here, and John is going to slip further into insanity. So you thought Sand Troopers, buckle up. Let's see what he's cooking up next. Anyway,
Yes.
for having no official reveals or major events to actually go off of, we still managed to cover quite a bit of ground and kill an hour and 40 minutes of everybody's time. Thank you for spending your Saturday with us, everybody. I appreciate you. John, thank you for all the hard work that you do. Lewis, thank you for helping Tyler hold down the fort on everything when it comes to the Instagram page. And I'm going to thank myself for just kicking back and doing nothing. So
thank you for doing all these graphics.
Now
All these
you've
new
done some
graphics
great
for the
stuff.
stream and everything. Yeah.
I'm going to start building actually the March Madness graphics for March. So
I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be soon, man. Going to be soon. All right. So that's all the covering stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. So let's call it. As always, thanks everyone for tuning into the SWTVC show. Keep 375 alive. Back TVC. Be kind to one another, and may the force be with you.
And never say there's a great pauldron ever again.
And end stream.
Thanks, everybody.